The latest 2024 thriller movie, Some Substance, is shockingly coming, and it's also the most disgusting movie I've ever seen. Friends who are eating are not advised to watch it. Elizabeth was once a top Hollywood star, but now over 50, she has lost her youthful charm and can only maintain a fitness program on TV. During a break, Elizabeth wanted to use the restroom, but the women's restroom was under repair, so she went into the men's restroom. There she overheard her boss angrily come in, saying that an old woman like Elizabeth, who doesn't attract much attention, should be kicked out. At her age, does she still think she's her younger self? Then he mentioned finding a young girl to replace her. The boss's harsh words deeply pierced Elizabeth's heart. Looking at her already sagging skin in the mirror, despite her unwillingness, she was helpless. On the way back, she saw her poster being mercilessly taken down. Distracted, she ended up in a car accident with another vehicle. But fortunately, she was not seriously injured. However, having narrowly escaped death, she still couldn't smile. The aging process made her feel that living was worse than dying. An intern stopped Elizabeth as she was about to leave, then pressed on her spine as if there was a needle-like object under the skin. The young and handsome intern said, "You are our best choice." Then he handed Elizabeth her clothes without much thought. But just as she left the hospital, she found something extra in her pocket. Wrapped in a note was a USB drive with a message saying it could change her life. At that moment, Elizabeth ran into a high school classmate on the roadside. Although neither of them was young anymore, the old classmate did not hide his admiration and even said they should keep in touch. Back in her empty home, out of curiosity, he opened the USB drive. The video said that by injecting a drug called Some Substance, your cells could divide and create a younger and more glamorous version of yourself. Elizabeth didn't believe this nonsense at all and immediately threw the USB drive into the trash.
But human nature ultimately cannot withstand temptation. Even with just a sliver of a chance, Elizabeth decided to take a gamble. She immediately followed the address to a small alley, where a narrow rolling door opened a gap. Elizabeth squeezed through, finding a hidden world inside. She used a number tag to open room number 503. The first layer in the box contains a bag of activator. For personal use, discard after use. The second layer is for the new self. The third layer is the exchanger for the main body and the separate body, and the two must exchange once every 7 days. Lastly, there is the nutrient solution needed for the main body and separate body. Pay special attention, you two are one entity. After a brief psychological struggle, Elizabeth stripped herself and injected the starter agent into her body. As soon as she finished the injection, she felt the world spinning and fainted. Immediately, her back began to writhe as if something was about to burst out. Suddenly, her back split open with a large gash. Her eyes developed an eerie double pupil, and a human-shaped leg emerged from Elizabeth's back. Before long, a fair-skinned beauty came into this world, possessing an exquisite appearance. She had all of Elizabeth's memories, but her body had undergone a tremendous transformation. Looking at this captivating body, she was very satisfied. Then, she used needle and thread to sew up the back of the main body. After all, it was another version of herself, and then began to input the nutrient solution. After doing all this, the separated Xiaobai could have this young and beautiful body, but she suddenly felt dizzy, and blood started to flow from her nose. She immediately realized she hadn't injected the stabilizer yet. 7 bottles, one must be injected every day. So she quickly picked up the syringe, drew the stabilizer from the main body's back, and injected it into herself. Feeling refreshed and absolutely confident, she went to the TV station for an interview, aiming to rebuild her glory. Xiaobai's stunning looks and hot figure successfully caught the boss's attention, and she was immediately signed, with full efforts made to turn her into a superstar. She possessed all the main body's memories, and her previous experience quickly made her the brightest star at the TV station. Injecting 1 vial of stabilizer every day, she also takes care of the main body in her spare time. In the blink of an eye, a week quickly passes, and she must exchange with the main body. Although she is reluctant, she still uses the conversion needle to connect their bodies together, and their blood begins to exchange. Suddenly, Xiaobai fainted, and Elizabeth woke up. The pain from her back was unbearable, but seeing the other self fainted in front of her, she felt that everything she did was worth it. When Elizabeth returned to the TV station, the boss had already packed her things, eager to kick her out, not hiding his joy at all. This old body made her lose interest in everything. A certain substance sends nutrient solution to the main body and the split body every week. Elizabeth modeled through a week, and Xiaobai began to take over her life, which was more exciting than Elizabeth's, making her immensely enjoy her own 7 days. However, Elizabeth lying in the bathroom was too much of an eyesore, so she smashed the bathroom, preparing to put her inside. The noise caused dissatisfaction among the neighbors, but as soon as they saw the fair-skinned and beautiful Xiaobai, their anger instantly vanished, and they even said to ask for anything needed. After that, Xiaobai moved the main body into a small dark secret room and took down her portrait, replacing it with her own. With the boss's strong support, Xiaobai's fame grew more and more. On the night of the 7th day, after work, he invited a young guy to his home, but the time for the exchange had arrived. Her head was splitting and her nose started bleeding profusely. Ignoring everything else, she hurried to the secret room. At this moment, the main body's nutrient solution had already been used up, but human greed made her want more time. So she broke the rules and extracted a vial of stabilizer from the main body, injecting it into herself. Rejuvenated, she decided to get through tonight first. On the 8th day, after they exchanged bodies, Elizabeth walked out of the secret room to find the house in chaos, with a helmet and a note left by the young man. "I'll come to pick up the helmet in a few days." But at this moment, Elizabeth noticed something wrong. One of her fingers seemed lifeless. After taking off her clothes, she realized that Xiaobai had broken the agreement and extracted more of the activator from her body yesterday. She immediately called the company of a certain substance to ask if there was any way to recover, but they said that the other you had extracted your vitality, and there was no way to remedy it. However, Elizabeth was discouraged, thinking, "I don't even know what she did, so why should I bear the consequences of her mistakes?" But the other party said that you were originally one, and as long as the other you maintains balance, this wouldn't happen. After saying that, they hung up the phone. Elizabeth was instantly furious, but when she saw the other her on TV, a new end of this episode.